Most dinosaurs were named for what they looked like. Tyrannosaurus, tyrant lizard king. Triceratops, three-horned face. Apatosaurus, deceptive lizard. Some 19th century scientists looked at a 20-meter, 22-ton animal, and the most interesting thing he could come up with was that it was a liar. Today, I want to bring this dinosaur back to life, built it a home, gave it a herd, and honestly, tried to do it justice. Here's the thing about Apatosaurus. It's had what scientists politely call an identity crisis. In 1877, paleontologist Othniel Charles Marsh described it from juvenile bones. 2 years later, he found bigger adult bones, and instead of going, "Oh, those are just the grown-ups," he said, "New dinosaur." Named it Brontosaurus, thunder lizard. Way cooler name, honestly. By 1903, scientists realized he'd described the same animal twice. Brontosaurus got canceled. Then in 2015, a new study brought it back. Turns out, it was different enough. So now, Apatosaurus and Brontosaurus are both real, both their own thing. And every textbook from the last 100 years has whiplash. 150 million years ago, Apatosaurus walked through what's now the western United States. Not the green Colorado we know today, but a vast, semi-arid floodplain. Long, dry seasons, slow rivers, conifers and ferns scattered across open plains. That's the world I tried to build here in Jurassic World Evolution 3. I gave it room to breathe. Wide open ground, scattered groves of trees, a couple of seasonal waterholes where the herd could gather. I made some creative choices, used what the game gave me, filled the gaps with imagination. Is every plant scientifically accurate to the late Jurassic? Probably not. The game's got what the game's got. But the shape of it, the openness, the heat, the slow rivers, that's what I was after. That's what Apatosaurus actually lived in. Let's talk size. Apatosaurus was 21 to 23 meters long, about 3 school buses parked end to end. Weighed 16 to 22 tons, roughly 3 African elephants compressed into a single animal. Neck, around 5 meters. Tail, over 9. The only animals that ever got bigger lived in the ocean, blue whales, and even they had to wait about 145 million years to show up. Watching one of these things move in-game, even in a simulation, gives you a weird sense of scale that pictures can't deliver. It's just big, in every direction. The neck is where Apatosaurus gets really weird. It's shorter than its cousin Diplodocus, but way thicker. Like, built out of tree trunks thicker. Why? In 2015, paleontologists proposed something kind of awesome. Maybe Apatosaurus used its neck as a weapon. Modern giraffes do this. 2 males swing their necks like clubs to fight over mates. Apatosaurus might have done something similar, using the underside, with those thick, bony projections, to deliver downward strikes. Picture that, a 5-meter neck, attached to a 22-ton animal. That's not a fight, that's industrial demolition. It's a hypothesis, not consensus, but the anatomy fits. I built this place for 10 of them. We don't know exactly how Apatosaurus lived socially. Fossil trackways suggest sauropods sometimes moved in groups, but whether they were tight herds, loose associations, or something in between, your guess is genuinely as good as mine. What I do know is, watching 10 of them spread out across a landscape changes the feeling of the whole thing. 1 Apatosaurus is a giant. 10 is an ecosystem. They drink, they walk, they feed. The little ones, well, in real life, hatchlings were about a meter long. Most of them probably didn't make it past their first few years. But the ones who survived? They grew fast. Several tons of body weight per year during their growth spurt. Survive your teenage years, and nothing on the planet can touch you. Okay, the tail. This is the fun part. In the 1990s, scientists did the math on diplodocid tails, the family Apatosaurus belongs to. They modeled the tapered tip, and the conclusion was, honestly, kind of insane. Apatosaurus could crack its tail like a bullwhip, loud enough to break the sound barrier. We're talking a sonic boom. Same physics as a whip cracking, but applied to a tail the length of a school bus. Why? Defense, maybe, but more likely, communication. Picture the late Jurassic. A sonic crack rolls across the floodplain. That's just Apatosaurus saying hi. It's a hypothesis. Some researchers think the tail couldn't survive the stress, but the math works. So, who messes with this animal? The apex predator of Apatosaurus's world was Allosaurus. Up to 12 meters long, massive jaws, a killing machine. And next to a healthy adult Apatosaurus, basically a chihuahua. Adult sauropods were essentially untouchable. Bite marks on fossils show Allosaurus tried, but mostly on juveniles, sick individuals, or carcasses. The danger zone was the first few years. Hatchlings were small. Predators were everywhere. Most never made it. But for the ones who did, by the time they were full grown, the rules of the food chain just didn't apply to them anymore. Apatosaurus disappeared at the end of the Jurassic, about 145 million years ago, long before the asteroid, long before T-Rex even existed. Climates shifted, habitats shrank, other sauropods took over. When I built this place, I wasn't trying to make a museum exhibit. I'm not a paleontologist. The game has its limits, and so do I. But I am trying to capture something real, a feeling, a scale, a world that actually existed. Apatosaurus walked the earth for millions of years, outlived dynasties of other animals, left bones in museums from New York to Berlin. And every time some kid picks up a plastic dinosaur and yells, "Brontosaurus!" they're somehow technically right. Thanks for spending this time in the deep past with me. See you in the next one.